If you hear someone describe a term as self-defeating, you know what that is, and you know why you'd want to avoid it. But here's a term that I had not heard before. It's called autophagy. It's a Greek word, which in English translates not as self-defeating, but actually as self-eating, which doesn't sound like a good thing at all, especially when it has to do with the brain and memory. Yet according to a new study, that's what chronic stress can do to the brain. It's a significant discovery that may lead to new treatments for depression, anxiety, and cognitive impairment. But even now, it really underscores the role that unaddressed stress can play in cognitive impairment and why you want to address it, which you definitely can. Hi, I'm Tony Deering of GoCogno.com, the website for people with mild cognitive impairment. We know that long-term unmanaged stress is terrible for the brain. It can be a cause of cognitive impairment, and even when it's not, it can make that decline happen so much faster. But what we don't know is why. What does chronic stress do to the brain that makes cognition and memory worse? Well, new research offers a possible answer. This study involving mice was done at a brain center in South Korea. What they found was that chronic stress in mice does a double whammy on the hippocampus, which is a part of the brain associated with the formation of new memories. It not only caused the death of brain cells in the hippocampus, which is the autophagy, or self-eating effect, but it also prevented the development of new brain cells in the hippocampus. Now, this sounds a little scary, but I am not sharing this information with you to scare you. In the long run, this discovery has the potential to help you, and here's why. One of the big takeaways in this research is that there appears to be a certain gene called SGK3 that triggers this cell death. Now that scientists have identified the gene, they're looking for ways to inhibit it. And if they're successful in that, it could block this cell death and protect the brain health of people experiencing chronic stress, which frankly is all of us at some point in our life. So that's what this could mean for you someday, but let's also look at what it might mean for you right now. It's not about getting stress out of your life. Stress is an inevitable part of life. It's about identifying the stresses in your life and coping with them. I asked Dr. Dean Shirzai just a few weeks ago, and he said it has to be approached as one of the first priorities.
Without stress management, nobody will start a nutritional program, nobody will start an exercise program, nobody will start a cognitive enhancement program. Bad stress is the kind of stress that's not driven by your purpose. It doesn't have a clear timelines. It just runs on and on without any of your goals, any of your dopamine release emotional goals being reached. That's bad stress.
The good news is there are many ways to address stress, and one of them will work for you. What has worked for me is meditation, and I have found it very helpful, even life-changing. So that's what worked for me, and maybe it could work for you, or maybe something else. Exercise, deep breathing, yoga, walks in nature. The thing is, you want to have some good way to address that stress. One good resource I recommend is this post from Dr. Weil, and I'm including a link below. I also have one other suggestion, which I am going to devote an entire video to next week. If you want to know what that is, join me again next week. I hope to see you then. And until then, as always, be kind to your mind.